What is up guys, Brix here back with another Lego City update. I do have a couple packages that have arrived, so we'll be opening up those this week and I'll show you all the progress that I have got done. But without further ado, make sure to please drop a like and subscribe as it really does help out the channel. I got loads of support of the last City update, so let's get right into it. So as you can see, another package has arrived, so I'm going to quickly go ahead and get right into that. As you can see in there, the 8 road plates have arrived from eBay. They had 8 left, so I did pick those 8 up. Or is there 9 here? I'm not too sure. Oh yeah, and a half that they've kindly thrown in, which is nice actually. So there's 8 there and then a half, which will always come in. That's great. They're about the same price anyway, so that's cool. I forgot to film opening it, but another package did come in here. 2, again, some more pieces for some of the roads and my Game of Thrones build. All the dark brown and pretty much most of the dark grey. And then, obviously, I'm rebuilding all my old modulars that I had. So these are for the Grand Emporium. So with those road plates added, I've added obviously 2 here and then fixed up the one at the back. Actually adding in this row of like tile there. Don't know if you can really tell. Just so it sits up basically flush to the wall, which is looking good now, so I'm happy with that. And then I've also built up these foundations for the modulars. I'm thinking about putting the Grand Emporium here in this spot, and then I do have half and then full again. So I'm not too sure what I'm going to put in there because I have loads of modulars that I want to try and squeeze in, because I mean they're basically all my favourite. I know last week I said this was my favourite corner building maybe, but there are some really nice just straight buildings, if you will. So what I'm actually thinking is I put the boutique hotel here and then the townhouse opposite to the pet shop, then either the town hall or the jazz club on the end. That's how it looks with the boutique hotel on the corner. Don't know if I like that there, because it doesn't really match the Palace Cinema or any of the other buildings for that matter at all. And I'd say the interesting side is then completely covered as well, as obviously the Grand Emporium is the same on both sides, and I like both sides. Then I have decided to add one half of Market Street. I mean, I'm not a big fan of the other half. I know it is part of it, but it's like this high and just doesn't fit anywhere, and it exposes an ugly side of one of the modulars. So with that row of modulars fitted, I'm pretty happy with that really for now. I've got all the tall buildings somewhat out of the way. As I said, the town hall and potentially Market Street will be moving later on, but next I do have to tile all of that in, which is what these are for here. With that all tiled in, that looks nice and clean and flush all the way along, and obviously we do have the curved tile on the corner. Put this secondary countertop in. This isn't permanent, I'm going to build one properly, but it's the right depth. I've just been using props for the minute at that back edge. But all the way along here, I'm going to build up a wall. It's going to stick out like this basically. I'm going to kind of overlap around, so I'm going to make this 2x2 wide basically, tiles all the way along, and this wall will overlap, making all this wall light bluish grey all the way down, and then this is going to be where the harbour front is going to be. So I'll have the blue base plates, and I will just give it a little bit of height, so it will be, I believe, about 6 bricks tall, which is probably quite enough for like a somewhat of a harbour wall. So as you can see, I've just built up this kind of just filler wall underneath with the light bluish grey. Obviously, as I said before, we have raised this up so that when I add this water in here, we do have a little bit of a harbour wall, which will obviously run all the way along there. It's going to be a different design to this. This is just meant to be like underground, if you know what I mean. If you imagine, you know, you'd have all the buildings along here. Bigger city. It's just kind of a chunk of what I'm doing. The road is going to come to an end here. I'm going to put a crossing in, because I don't know how I would do a turn, but if I have it as if the road were to continue along here, I could just have it, the tile running all the way along, and have a crossing, or a crossing there potentially, but then the road kind of runs into the river. My aim is to have a bridge at the end. I'm going to get this last bit built up here, do the road as well as the crosswalk, and then do the next bit of road along here, and then we will have the corner in there. So one thing I have done here, if the road is running along, obviously it would kind of run off this way and there wouldn't be a curb. So I've added in this piece of like tarmac, if you will, along the top, and obviously the base plates will then sit flush because they'll be perfectly on the base plate, if you will. So the crosswalk will be here, and then the main 2 base plates running that way will be here, and then this will just literally just connect up to another road, potentially in the future, but probably just an imaginary road running along there. So as you can see, more progress has been made. I've put down the foundations for the road, as well as somewhat indented the road into this kind of wall in the side of the city. Now I've done this so obviously we can't have a curb running along, and it'd kind of look weird if it was just kind of sat on there. Originally I did have it running straight down, but it kind of makes more sense that it'd be at this kind of angle, as if dug out, you know, it wouldn't be perfectly square, so it's kind of at like a bit of a angle, if you will, just using inverted slopes and obviously normal light bluish grey slopes, and that lines up with that pretty well. Obviously it is a stud off, but I've also added a stud in. I could have done it 2 studs there, but if we've got a stud there, then that means I'd need another 3 rows of this tile for it to be perfect at that end, because obviously that hangs over by 2 studs, and this is already hung over by a stud. That would mean I'd only need another 2, so every 2 sets of road I can put 1 in. And obviously then on this side you can build up the harbour wall. I'll probably end up doing that next week, however, because I do want to get some more buildings in. I'll do a quick time lapse of me laying all of this road and tile. So as you saw from that brief time lapse, I've added in obviously some plates here. I thought I'd add them in first before I laid the road fully. This is obviously for the harbour wall, so I don't know whether to add like arches underneath this or have it going straight down. I've not come up with a design yet, but either way it's not fixed to the thing, it's just fixed to the upper section. Now I did literally run out of plates down there, so I have put that little bit in there because that's where the bridge I'm planning on is going to go anyway, or kind of the end of this kind of canal slash river section. And then in here, or maybe further down, I'm going to have another crossing, just because it kind of makes sense to have kind of a set of traffic lights. I know we have one here as well, but just putting another one in there I think will look a little bit better slash more realistic before we get to said bridge on the end. Just remind me, I might put this here potentially, or even there, make this somewhat of a crossroads, but I'm not too sure yet. Either way, I've put in a half plate there. The one I got for free earlier, actually, I've put that one in there, so it does mean I'm going to order some more anyway when we get to the other side of the city. I've just put these blue base plates in to symbolise water, basically. I'm probably going to maybe make it wider, maybe come out here, do a pretty wide section, but I don't want to waste too much space. I mean, it's going to have details. I can build a couple of boats, maybe a little jetty, something like that. I'm going to do a quick time lapse of me filling up all this bit with or some of this filler brick, so it's a lot stronger than the other side. It also means kind of moving some of that. Obviously that's kind of hollow under there for press down. It's not the strongest, so there might be a collapse midway through. I don't know yet, so I'm going to get right into that. Again, as you can see, we've added in obviously these base plates, and also made a start on this harbour wall, which I didn't think I would be doing. Obviously not done any underneath, just this top layer of plates basically. And then we have obviously just got this space left here, and then I've not done any work at the end because I'm pretty sure that's where the bridge is going to go, and we'll sit on there anyway. So really liking how that is turning out. So as you can see, this is the city so far. Not much, but we've got a decent area done. Obviously for one half I've pretty much got all the tall buildings into the city. So I don't know what I'm going to put along the front here. Probably the brick bank on this corner, and maybe the Natural History Museum, Assembly Square, or I don't know, a detective's office, and like one of the townhouses, or even the actual bookshop. But I do hope you all enjoyed this update anyway, as that is going to wrap it up there. So without further ado, make sure to please drop a like and subscribe, as it really does help out the channel, and we'll see you all in the next one. Take care, guys.